Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Well, would you agree that a lot of us are in the stage of arrested development as a people? Like, we might be older, we might get older, but we still got a childlike mentality when it comes to politics and the self-determination and dealing with our own issues. Like a Peter Pan complex, so to speak.
Yeah. And how much we love that dead freak Michelle, a.k.a. Michael Jackson. That self-hating freak who got his own nose amputated. He had it operated on so many times trying to look white. That self-hating creep.
His birthday coming up, yeah. About what, August 29th?
Ought to call it Devil's Day.
But you know, Judge, I'll say this about you. I mean, people may not agree with your assessment of Michael Jackson, but you've been consistent about how you feel about Michael Jackson. You've been consistent in your perspective on Michael Jackson for a while now.
Yes. I never liked him when they discovered him. That whole group sounded like a bunch of drowning rats in a burlap bag.
So you're saying that Alvin and the Chipmunks sounded better?
And they didn't even win the contest. There was a white gangster out in New York and L.A. who used to be one of my neighbors who used to terrorize Motown and collect off the top from them. Stone cold killing gangster. Old man now. He may have died. He's old enough. And they had the Watch Festival 1966, and the winner was supposed to get a Motown recording contract. The Jackson 5 took fourth place. Norby Walters called up, even though they had announced it in the Times. And I was there to witness it, by the way. This isn't something I heard about. I saw it go down. I was in the audience. And some days later, they changed, said they made a mistake. That's because of years later, I learned that my neighbor Norby Walters had made some calls and sent his boys to make some visits and said, we want a boy band. So the Jackson 5 are going to be the winners, not these 3 that you've already announced.
Ain't nothing but a gangster party. Wow.
Exactly. That Jackson 5 bunch has been a bunch of perverts since day one. The daddy was trying to straighten them out, but the mama kept making them more perverted.
Okay, I know which one, I don't know, is Jermaine end up getting with his brother's wife or something, having kids with his brother's wife?
All of them are sick. Allegedly.
But you know, that's America, though. There's like a lot of dysfunctionality in our family.
The girls are kind of cute, but they can't sing that well unless they're really working with a lot of technical assistance. They're pretty, but the problem with them is you look at them and they look fine, and then you get to have to shake your head because you keep getting this image of their perverted brother Michael, who kept trying to look like them.
I mean, well, you know, Michael, it's complex with Michael Jackson because it's like you say he was self-hating, but he tried to do things that honor black people. Like he was aware of black history.
What?
I mean, like look at
high-rise and flooding pants, white socks, titty loafers, and one white glove to hide the fact that his melanin destruction by laser on that hand wasn't finished, and running around here looking like a Pokemon cartoon. Oh, hell no. They ain't doing anything for me.
Well, I was talking about, like, you remember, like, the video, Remember the Time? Like, he used to let you know the Egyptians were black people. Is homage to you know, black. I mean, he studied the legends. Like, he always gave the people that came before the reverend.
They wrote that shit for him.
Okay, well, it's Hollywood.
Yeah, monkey, go out there and perform. The organ grinder is going to do.
What about the money he gave back as a philanthropist, right? Humanitarian philanthropy, the
That
money
boy
he gave
was
back.
buying kids. He was buying children.
Okay. I mean, I ain't gonna argue with you, but I was just saying, I'm just putting stuff, trying to put
He
something
could get
out.
him up there to that damn freak show he called that Never Land thing he had, so he could put on those freak sick acts with those.
But Judge, what about after the first time he got in trouble, right? But I remember like it was yesterday how they kept on sending kids to him, like Make-A-Wish Foundation. These other organizations kept on sending kids to Neverland. So who was responsible?
His perversion. That's why he was doing what he was doing.
Okay.
And he cut his own balls off before he hit puberty. You know why I say that?
Why you say that?
Beethoven, Bach, Mendelssohn had a series of songs they wrote called the castrati songs. If you had not been castrated before puberty, you could not sing these songs. Michael Jackson did a 2-hour-long concert for one of the popes before he died. The pope died, and then he died. 2-hour castrati concert for the first time since the last castrati died in 1952 with some poor victim of some sick-ass Catholic monk somewhere in Italy who decided his beautiful voice made him deserving of being saved from the horrors of sexuality, so they castrated him to preserve his voice.
Wow. Man, wow.
None of those children turned out to be his. Even the people that were masquerading as the mothers turned out not to be the biological mother. He bought those children.
Wow, I wish you would have had some kids with Stephanie Mills. That's probably.
No, I don't.
But it's interesting because basically they're white.
Well,
these kids are white, right?
And then why would you want them with Stephanie Mills? So they could sing?
I feel like, she was a black woman. She was, decent looking black woman.
Black folk need, black folk need one more distraction instead of focusing on the realities that they have to deal with.
Well, the reason why I said Stephanie Mills because they dated back in the day. That's why.
Yeah, but black people need one more distraction.
I don't think so. We got our plate full. But kind of like we like the dude like the Skittles commercial you said is gorging on the Skittles and just, eyes all glazed over or eating a Popeye's chicken sandwich and all up.
The rainbow. That's what he is. He's deep throating that stuff.
I gotta ask you, Judge, I think it's interesting. It's an Eric Gardner situation where they did not bring charges against the cop who killed Eric Gardner in cold blood. And they waited till 5 years later after the statute of limitations. They didn't bring no charges, but they fired him without his so-called pension recently. So he wasn't charged with anything. He got away with murder. And the guy who taped the whole thing, he's in jail, I think, still being tortured.
Well, shit happens.
Okay.
Change it.
If you was the judge, what would you...
See, and the Kapoor guy is probably a scapegoat to the current era of politics. The Democratic Party is trying to hang on to what they got. Because they couldn't get to him. See, the Democrats in this Skittles crowd are like that. They won't confront anybody head on.
Okay.
They'll go behind and backstab them. Not that I mind this guy getting terminated. That's kind of a rank, just raw justice, but it's just that kind of chicken-ass stuff instead of direct justice.
But why did they just couldn't bring charge? I mean, help me understand why they couldn't.
Because you need a grand jury to indict.
Mm-hmm.
Grand jury is composed of people who are selected from the jury pool. The jury pool is composed of registered voters, people with driver's licenses, and such like, and they are also people who did not raise objection to jury service and didn't try to get off.
Mm-hmm.
So typically when you get somebody black trying to get off, everybody bends over backwards to let them off because they want the deck stacked.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not surprising.
Those are, to me, the people... Mm-hmm.
We are so distracted by everything else. We bitch and moan and cry about, man, justice, just us. Well, then why the devil did you ask me on 2 separate occasions how to get out of jury service?
Yeah, I hear you. But even so, people got that. I don't care if you don't even like black people. Just to see that happen on tape, how that guy was done over some loose cigarettes, and nobody said we couldn't do anything about it.
See, you're assuming that these people care.
Right.
You're assuming that they don't say, good, get another one.
Man, the irony to me is I think the guy was Italian American who killed Eric Gardner and killed him in Staten Island. There's all the mobsters live in Staten Island. You got a lot of mob kingpins.
The pistol that Trayvon Martin got killed with sold for $38,000 on auction.
Wow. And George Zimmerman walking around free and not being worried about being touched by anybody.
He's in trouble. He got himself in trouble. He has domestic violence problems. He can't control himself. He has a series of assaults. He was an OG. He was in his 20s when this happened. He was a Cuban gangster.
And daddy was a judge, right? Or was a judge. Mm-hmm.
What?
His daddy was a judge too, right? A retired judge?
No. See, a lot of this mess is because of Anderson Cooper. I talked to Mrs. Trayvon Martin's mother. She said, could you tell me why Anderson Cooper wanted me not to reveal that Trayvon's grandfather was a lieutenant detective on the Miami Police Department? Daddy was a sergeant detective when he got killed. Why shouldn't I say that? Because he wanted to make it like some white Jew boy did in some hoodie wearing black hood rat.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's how they do that.
Wow.
Now, nothing wrong with Jews, but Zimmerman wasn't Jewish. One of his female ancestors screwed somebody who was taking a vacation down to Miami some decades ago. Not Miami, down to Havana, when it was a mecca for organized crime, gambling, prostitution, drugs, and illegalities.
Mm-hmm. So that's interesting. Wow. So I know in New
Cuban girl got knocked up by a Jewish guy from New York, so she took the name and gave it to the baby. Nobody went to court. That's what happened. That's why Zimmerman.
Interesting. He got away with it so far, I guess, but you said it's only a matter of time.
Well, he's done some jail time or probation, rather, because of some other stuff.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the case? And I'll wrap it up, Jeff. What do you think about the case of the store clerk here in North Memphis that shot the boy for $2 beer?
Well,
facing 60 years in prison?
Legally, it was wrong. However, a lot of people around town have said to me that boy shouldn't have been stealing the band's merchandise. The man's got to make a living. He ain't in the business of giving it away.
Okay.
Somebody needs to teach these kids to follow the law and that there are consequences for not. Now, that's what I hear often.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but $2 beer, though?
Yeah, one of the problems is that the local Democratic Party, who's been basically useless, has simply been trying to find an issue to get behind. And they've got T. Moses who's pushing it. And, you know, what can I say? You have to know her.
You talking Pamela Moses?
Yes.
Well, I don't think she's going to win, Mayor. I don't think... You know what? The mayor thing is down to two people, Strickland and Harrington. Yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, you need to get the other one out.
Sawyer?
Yes.
But Sawyer,
By the
okay.
way, we have information that shows she got at least $50,000 raised for her campaign by Strickland's campaign.
Wow.
We also show that one of the Hooks people is storing the Bedford Forrest and the Jeff Davis statues.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, since we're talking about this. There is the small matter of Shelby County operating budget account 1306402-7003 and the resolution pertaining to that she sponsored and introduced. And the resolution is for the expenditure of Shelby County Sheriff's Department grant funds received from the federal government in the amount of $261,384 for an armored vehicle, to wit, one 47 or 48-year-old former U.S. Army, sold on the world surplus market, tracked vehicle. I believe it's an M113 to be paid to single source provider Lenco, Lenco, for said vehicle not to exceed the above amount. Sponsored by Shelby County Commissioner Sawyer. Shelby County operating budget 1306204027003. Also on a resolution introduced by her, Van Turner, or what is it, Van Jones, or is it Turner?
That's Turner.
Turner. Van Turner buys the Nathan Bedford Forest Park and the Jeff Davis Park for $2,500 each with no bid. And currently, the market value of the two properties together is between $25 and $27 million. Okay, Strickland, who finances Sawyer, so far we have evidence to the tune of $50,000. And it goes on from there. Very interesting. That's so that 19.1% of the registered voters being white can control the population in the largest predominantly black city in America.
That's interesting. Wow.
That's political acumen. And then look at the city council members who went along with the no runoff or instant runoff proviso that was proposed. It got stopped by federal court. And by the way, for years and years, we tried to block runoff because it had a disproportionately negative impact on us. They wanted to put back the thing back in a modified form that would have an even worse impact. In other words, everybody has to vote for two people for the same office, your first choice and second choice. If your first choice doesn't win, then the person who gets the plurality of votes for the second choice becomes the winner.
Wow.
Oh, in other words, if the first choice doesn't get the majority, then the second choice, when you tabulate that up, whichever one gets the plurality, which doesn't have to be a majority, wins. You see what time that is?
So it's like October 3rd gonna be very interesting. So who you got? You got Harrington, Judge.
I'm supporting Harrington.
Now people said, like, you know, I had talked to some people. I said, why he ain't really out there campaigning? I said he got a name, his brand. He got a well recognized name in politics. Really, like, the key to winning is name recognition.
Well, yeah, but remember, this stuff doesn't hit the fan until October, November. We know who Doc is.
Right.
He got elected 5 times. Now, he's got 2 things he wants to deal with. One, he wants to get back into putting the Memphis Police Department under firm political control. And he's the only mayor anywhere in America that has put the local police department under his control.
Okay.
And the second thing he wants to do is to set in place those things necessary so that in the future they don't get back out of control.
Mm.
They got some good cops. I mean, especially compared to other places. But, you know, you have some influences that are just up in that Pork Chop Hill thing, you know, like that Clint Eastwood movie where he came in and took over the Marine Recon platoon and the morale was horrible. They did all kinds of messed up stuff and he took charge.
Right.
They need somebody in charge.
So you don't think Michael Rollins is doing a good job at all?
He's doing a good job,
Mm-hmm.
but he needs some backup, and he's not getting it from the mayor's office.
Okay.
For example, have you seen all these police cars parked on the freeways at the entrances?
Yeah.
What are they doing? They don't have radar going, but they're supposed to put on a front like, oh, the police are watching, slow down.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, at the times they're picking to do it is a high crime time, and all of these thugs are out there burglarizing and carrying on because they know the police are parked at the freeway entrances, not out here patrolling the streets.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Okay.
And anyway, there are some things about the road. People need to do this. Look in your damn mirror, and if you see there's nobody in front of you but a whole line of cars behind you, move your tired behind over. Second thing, when you move over, turn on your damn lane, your turn signal, so we'll know what the hell your dumb behind's doing instead of just coming over.
Yeah, it's like people that, man, I don't know. It's for the, you know, you just hope that when you stop, you break, the people behind you will break too, or you just hope that people don't just, oh man, driving out here is dangerous.
And the other thing too, the cars have changed since 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Speed limits were higher in Tennessee 50 years ago than they are now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Why are you setting the speed limit so low for cars that in Japan and in Germany on the Autobahn have no speed limits?
Yeah, 'cause I like going like 65 to 75.
Yes.
Yeah, that's more
economical with
yeah.
most of today's cars. The driver is alert, paying attention.
Yeah.
So you got to drive commensurate with cars that were designed back in the late 1940s and early 50s.
I guess one good thing they did was the cell phone rule. You can't be on your cell phone while you're driving, supposedly.
Oh, I've seen some horrors with that.
Mm.
I ordinarily, if the person can drive, it's no problem. But you got a lot of people. I've seen some woman yakking on the phone, all animated, and one hand that was supposed to be on the wheel is bouncing up and down, and she's gesturing and weaving her head from side to side. Oh, girl, blah, 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 blah. Goddamn, pay attention.
Right. I agree.
And then the driving tests are not vigorous enough.
Mm-hmm.
You get in your car, back out of your head in space, drive out the lot from the DMV, go to the corner, make a right, go to the next corner, right, and right, come drive back in. That's no driving test.
Mm. Yes, sir. You said Harrington had two things. What was the second thing?
Well, the first one I said was putting the police back under control.
Right.
And then the second thing was putting in place something so they would not get out of control again.
Oh, so those are two things, a big geared towards police. Okay. Yeah, I just
and
like
also doing something about boosting the local economy by bringing in outside business, industry, and trade.
Okay. I know Tammy wants a debate with Mayor Strickland and former Mayor Harrington, but I don't think they're going to give it to her. I don't think they're going to.
Oh, that woman's got nothing to do. She's actually going around tweeting about she doesn't have to have a policy because her perspective would be able to, would allow her to come up with appropriate policy. She got upset. She doesn't even know who I am, I don't think. But on Twitter, it came out, I was talking about house Negroes and third floor bed wenches doing so on and so forth. She came back, how dare you call me a house Negro? I said, excuse me, with due respect, I didn't call you a house Negro. I called you a third floor bed wench.
Oh, my God. Hey, what she say to that? She blocked you or?
She didn't. Probably blocked me. I don't care.
Well, my thing,
I wasn't trying to get her anyway.
My understanding was I would think that she would need a policy, because I know I talk to people like in the community who actually, believe in voting and they're active in civic, things, and they own businesses. And I asked them, did Tammy reach out to you? Or they said, no, but you reach out to her several times. I tried to get in touch with her, and she didn't return. I mean, what about Bill Street? Because that's a big fight about who controls Bill Street. Why you not reach out to the folks who's taking people to court about who's going to control Bill Street? That's a very important economic revenue stream for the community. And
let's talk about that in a second.
Okay, but I say, like, it's funny that you just said she don't think she needs a policy right away. She needs something in place, because you can't claim that you took down the statues. Because
that woman is not. She's a con.
Okay,
Strickland's putting her up to doing it so she can divide the vote.
Yeah, because you can't claim the statue thing. Strickland could claim that because he had the resources and the power to do that. She can't claim that she removed the statue.
She just enabled Van Turner to buy it for $5,000, get $25 million worth of property.
Yeah, it was a land grab. That's a sophisticated land grab. Yeah. So
see, they could have put the property up for a damn bid and got the whole thing, and the city could have got some money. Now let's get back to Beale Street.
Okay.
Damn near every lease on Beale Street is on a month-to-month tenancy basis.
Okay.
In other words, you only have to give the holder 30 days notice that the lease is being canceled.
Mm-hmm.
The last I checked, the primary leaseholders are paying the city $250 a month per lot.
Okay.
But they're subletting these properties for anywhere from $5,000 to $35,000 a month.
Oh God. Jeez.
So my suggestion is confiscate every goddamn one of those leases under eminent domain, pay them for the loss of the lease, which in this case, since it's on a month-to-month tenancy basis, is 1 month's rent, and then turn around and with fresh leases, lease them back to the people who are operating a club or business. And as a primary adjunct of being able to get the lease, you have to operate the business. You close the business, then you got to lose the lease.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe $2,500 a month. That's reasonable.
Yeah, but you said it was $35,000. It's $35,000 a month. They sublet.
No, I'm saying, see, the people that hold the leases are paying the city $250 a month.
Right.
At least they used to. So what they're doing is subleasing for anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000 a month, all the way up to $35,000. I've heard.
Wow, geez, that's crazy. But they say Beale Street is the highest grossing tourist attraction in the state of Tennessee.
Yeah, well, here's the other thing too.
Mm-hmm.
Why it is kept. Some of those long-term clubs down there are long-term because they're laundering money.
Mm.
And the larger their expense, the better it is for them.
Mm-hmm. Man.
Now, I'm not even going to get into that, but it is what it is.
I know Sister Catron, who controls the Old Daisy. I know she's been, going to court fighting the people about that.
Oh, I knew Catron from way back then.
Yeah, but I know.
Look at Royal Johnson. Royal Johnson had the hottest club on Beale Street. It was right across from that theater.
Okay.
It was jumping upstairs and down.
What was the name of the club?
Club Royale.
Club Royale.
His name was Royal Johnson.
Okay.
By the way, his ex-wife is Steve Harvey's current wife.
Marjorie, that's her name?
Marjorie.
Yeah.
Marjorie was married to Royal Johnson's first cousin, had some babies. The cousin went to the federal penitentiary on some drug charges. She wound up marrying Royal Johnson, had some children with him, divorced him when he lost the club, then got with Steve Harvey after he divorced his wife. So anyway, it's a little...
No, she got something special. It's what...
She's a pretty looking woman out there.
I seen pictures. She got some nice looking. She's a nice looking woman.
She's a tall woman too. She
I didn't know she
got
was
this
tall. Okay.
personality to talk with. You know, she used to talk with everybody. But Royal had the best club on Beale Street. He was making big bucks.
Okay.
And the white folk ran him out of business.
Why? What was the reason? I mean, he didn't want to do business with him, or what? What was the issue?
No, he was making too much money. They wanted to get him out of there. There's nobody black down there now.
Wow.
B.B. King's, that's his name being used, but it ain't really black.
All right. So there's no black-owned clubs on Beale Street.
There may be a business. I think the Withers Museum is still black.
And they got that restaurant there, that Blue Note restaurant.
Yeah.
It's black-owned.
But I'm just saying, you know, it's like everybody is frantically trying to get from month to month to make it.
Man, it's a strange town, Judge. I don't understand.
Well, it's a town that is contrived. See, Boss Crump, everybody's heard of him, but I'll say this again. Boss Crump got brought here to save Robert Church's fortune on behalf of Robert Church's daddy, who at one point was the largest white plantation owner in Mississippi before the Civil War and the richest man in Mississippi afterwards. So to save black folk, well, not black folk, to save this black person, Robert Church's property, he involved black people in politics. But black people have been brokered for the last 110 years behind that. So we aren't getting anything out of it. Like one old man told me years ago, say, son, damn it, when I was closer to your age, at least we got a quarter, shiny new quarter, a shiny new silver dollar, slice of watermelon. It was good melon and a shot of whiskey. We ain't getting a damn thing out of it now.
So really, we should have left the Democratic Party a while back. So you telling me?
Yeah, and see, local politics are nonpartisan anyway. So what the hell do they do? Except go swing with the Republican Party. You see what happened with Brett Thompson?
What happened?
Brett Thompson was doing all of the PR for the Democratic Party during election time, putting out the Democratic Party ballots and all that stuff. But he'd been disbarred and sent to prison for embezzlement, theft, and some other things. So you got a convicted felon who can't even vote, handling that for the Democratic Party. It's a scam. So he just got charged with defrauding and embezzling money from a woman that he misled into thinking he was a practicing attorney.
Man, woman, boy. I guess his greed brought him down, but
yeah, but see, the point is the Democratic Party shouldn't have been using him in the first place.
Yeah.
Just think about it. You're supposed to be running a legit operation, and you got a convicted felon running your stuff.
Yeah.
And the person you got is taking money from you to push Democratic candidates and money from them to push Republican candidates.
Well, you know what? You said I'm smiling my face because I'm thinking about Trump got rid of Paul Manafort just in time.
Hey.
He was smart to get rid of him. Somebody was. This politics stuff is interesting, man. Because I just, my thing is, I would tell people, if you don't got no money and got no connections, you should stay away from politics. Is that true? I'm telling people the right thing.
Yes.
Because you could be a good person, get corrupted by the whole thing.
Yeah. So you got to be able to hold your own without depending on somebody else. Otherwise, there's too much temptation.
Yeah.
To use it for corruption.
I want to tell people about, with Harrington, I said, you know what, you might not like Harrington, but you can't say he's corrupt, because they tried to get him with the Tennessee Waltz stuff, and he didn't go to jail. Bill Campbell from Atlanta went to jail, the former mayor, but Harrington ain't corrupt. He might be greedy or something. He might love money.
But Harrington's got outside jobs. He was on all these board of directors for all these mega corporations.
Exactly.
Long money for that.
Yeah, but I know people got these grudges against Harrington. Then they say, well, it's time for a woman. I said, yeah, I ain't feeling all this time for woman stuff. It just I want the right person for the
Why
job.
is it time for a woman? Why is it time for a woman?
Because you never had it before. People are like, it's not even about stat. You know what I'm saying? Politics ain't even about the issues. It's about popularity and name recognition and emotions. At a certain level, it's not about
like
the issue.
Screwed up Chicago has gotten with the woman.
Yeah, I heard that people with money were trying to offer her a programs to help give jobs to kids in Chicago, black kids, and she turned it down.
Yep.
Some billionaires behind the scenes offer her some.
Her wife, big old tall Bigfoot wife.
The Lori Lightfoot, that's her name, the Chicago mayor.
Yep.
I just like this is gonna be our undoing, man, and we deserve whatever we get to. That's how I feel right now.
I just can't see myself following a woman. No how, no way.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm old school. I honor them and respect them, will die for them, sacrifice for them, suffer for them, get all bent out of shape behind them, but I ain't following one of them. They ain't the war leader. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. There's a lot of women that agree with you, Judge. There's a lot of women that agree with you. But I think
get your ass down over there and I'll protect you. I don't need you jumping up taking a damn bullet, in spite of what the U.S. military is doing now, which I think is a bankrupt policy.
I let women be on the front lines?
Yes.
What about women generals? You think there should be women admirals and generals and stuff like that? Or?
Well, they are administrative positions, but they don't need to be combat leaders.
Okay, I mean, a lot of people agree with you on that. And some people say, well, yeah, I don't think so. But we should have the talk.
Look, back to that thing about motherhood. Motherhood for higher order mammals is an extremely demanding thing.
Mm-hmm.
And by that I mean humans, gorillas, chimpanzees, bonobos, baboons, lions, tigers, leopards, wolves, bear, whatever it may be. And that doesn't leave them much business or time for much else either.
That's it.
And as a matter of fact, as far as evolution is concerned, it suited human females to be pretty good mothers. It suited human males to be pretty good hunters, warriors, fighters, and, herd bulls.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying you might not find a woman to be able to do something, but it doesn't work out that way. Like Margaret Thatcher, nobody came to that little witch's funeral. She was a disaster for Great Britain. The Falklands especially is an illustration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think that even trying to engineer 2020 as the centennial of women's suffrage, right to vote type of stuff, it's not going to work out because we already deal with Obama. So Obama was like, we threw all that, because we need the first black president or we need the first woman type of stuff. I think people want results and they want, they want to be taken serious. I think some people won't be taken serious. I think also it's possible that I can see a lot of black folks sitting out the 2020 national election. I think that's happening.
A good thing.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good thing.
Because Democrats are horrible when it comes to black people, man. I mean, damn, like you start thinking about it, Judge, the Klan was invented by Democrats.
Yeah.
Nathan Ben Forrest was a Klansman. Albert Pike was a Klansman.
We actually had reparations that were ended by a Democrat.
Okay.
Toward the end of the Civil War, General Sherman, marching through Georgia and kicking the crackers in their behinds.
Yeah.
Excuse the language.
No, go ahead. It happened.
Said, kicking the white secessionists in the behind. Said we ought to take the property belonging to these treasonous SOBs, that was his language, and we ought to give it to the slaves. And we ought to provide them with a mule to work it. That was 40 acres and a mule.
Right.
He proposed this to Union Commanding General Ulysses Simpson Grant, who said, great idea. He submitted it to Abraham Lincoln, who said, great idea. And as military commander-in-chief and the South being in a condition of rebellion, and therefore a military district, he issued an executive order effectuating that. Well, the Republican House and the Republican Senate said, great idea, we'll put funds in it. So before the war was over, it got put into effect and it was working well. And if a black man, an ex-slave, got married, he could apply on behalf of his new family for 40 acres and a mule, and, he'd get it. Well, it was working real well for a number of months. And then Lincoln got assassinated, and then this bastard Johnson from Tennessee, a Democrat that they had selected as a compromise, he got in and said, oh, no, I ain't letting my homeboys get these property taken away, and he signed an executive order abolishing it. The reason he was able to is at that time the South was still considered a military district, and it was a military matter rather than a political one, so he wiped out 40 acres and a mule. So thank the Democratic Party for there being no reparations.
Wow. Ain't that something? That's some history that our people need to know, but I'm glad that people are waking up, because I do see people using the internet and getting that history. Because like I said, Nathan Bedford was a Democrat. He was a delegate at the convention in 1868.
Yeah, yes.
And Albert Pike was a Democrat who was the founder of the Klan. They both lived in Memphis at one point.
Jefferson Davis had been a Democrat.
Exactly. So, I mean, all this stuff, these Dixiecrats, and even with the Emmett Till thing, James Eastland was a Democrat senator from Mississippi that destroyed that case. We're looking down information to the press about Emmett Till's
problem. A lot of negative history.
Yeah.
And then in the late 60s, the Dixiecrats walked out and went over to the Republican Party en masse. Some of you say, well, that wasn't but one or two Democrats.
No, a lot of them.
Elected officials. So we're not talking about elected officials. We're talking about party apparatus.
That's right.
Fundraising apparatus, poll workers, campaign workers, people who down in the trenches doing the real work behind the candidates. They walked over to the Republican Party.
And then you had Robert Byrd, who stayed, the West Virginia senator, was a Klansman, a former Klansman.
Yeah.
But he stayed with the Democrats.
Down here in Memphis, they have the Lincoln Republicans.
Yep.
The Lincoln Republicans were started by black people who were universally Republican up until very recently.
Right.
I went to a Lincoln Republican meeting just on a lark. And these white folk did not realize that black folk had started their organization.
Ain't that something? So they were shocked to even learn that history, huh? They didn't even know who started it.
Why are you here? Well, I mean, I'm black, so why is a black man coming? Because it's a historical black organization. I just wanted to see how it was doing lately.
What they say?
What do you mean, historical black organization? Didn't you know that black people founded and chartered the Lincoln Republicans? All blacks in this county were Lincoln Republicans up until fairly recently.
Yeah.
They were? Yes, they were.
You got to reclaim that narrative, Judge.
Well, that was before I was born. Well, it wasn't before I was born. I was in college. Or, excuse me, I graduated from college.
Wow. So, Judge, what can we find out? I mean, what's up with the TV show? People been asking, like, when we going to see Judge on TV?
Oh, well, we got a thing that's called Hot Topics with Judge Joe. And we've shot 6 weeks worth of pilots already, so there will be airing in selected markets in the fall. And if it does well, then it will expand.
Oh, I hope it amplify blessing on. I hope it blow up like the Popeyes chicken sandwich blowing up right now. That means some good stuff. We can get enough of it. So, just had.
Well, I can't eat Popeyes because I get sick.
Yeah, you told me about the shrimp thing.
Shrimp fry and that.
And then you peanut oil too. Are you allergic to peanuts?
No, I eat a lot of peanuts.
Yeah, I love peanuts, man.
Bad for kidney stones, but I mean, I like peanuts.
But they got a lot of benefits to peanuts, from my understanding, especially like help with the sex drive and stuff like that. Increase the sperm
Well,
count.
George Washington Carver came up with a lot that peanuts can do, but the unfortunate thing about it, he couldn't pass it on.
Right.
Because this is another thing. They adopted him. A white family adopted him because they had a daughter. They had him castrated.
Exactly.
2 days after they brought him home, so he had no balls.
So people should like look up his. You can hear his voice. They recorded his voice. He got a high pitched voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I can't conceive of going through life with no nookie.
But you know what? But like he got back with that soybean because they said soy make you you know the soybean. He was a pioneer of that. So soybean helps produce estrogen or something like that.
Yeah,
you take too much of it because they put soy in everything. Though, that's the thing. They do stuff in our food that should be in our food, like high fructose corn syrup and all this stuff that's killing people.
It may, but it still gets bound to you got to teach these boys manhood if you expect the man out of what you're raising.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, sir. And Judge, what's the best way for you to contact you if they want to connect with you on social media?
Well, what is it? At Judge Joe Brown TV.
Okay.
At Judge Joe Brown TV. And I do not have a blue check.
But you do respond. You do interact and engage people. And people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a lot more followers, but I mean, I try to go through a couple of times, 2 or 3 times a day, and do a hit and miss response to things. And I will say great idea, great line, or wow, or whatever, or respond at some length.
Yeah, but we thank you for this engaging us and also utilizing platforms like We All Be and other platforms to get your very important message out there because people need to have this counter narrative to what they're hearing. And I think a lot of people are receiving what you're saying.
Thank you, young man. That's basically what I've been about my whole adult life. You know, I could have gotten a lot further in life than I have had I not had this sense of obligation to get stuff together. So I resisted the temptation. Fortunately, I got my moment of fame and prosperity, but I'm not just going to leave it at that. I'm going to jump off of it as a platform and say, hey, it ain't over yet. Mission is not accomplished because we still have need for the word.
Yes, sir.
But remember, start putting professors up there higher than the preachers because professors can teach STEM, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Those are the versions of magic that can make it happen for black people. And everybody in the world that has had it happen for them has gotten a hold of STEM, STEM, whether it is North Korea, whether it is Iran, whether it is the former Soviet Union, whether it's the People's Republic of China, whether it is Great Britain, France, England, the United States, Japan, you name it. They've all gotten on top of the heap because of STEM. Pakistan, India, you have to include in that too. Where there is no STEM, you're third rate, fourth rate, and you're on the bottom of the heap. And in this country, we will not be on top of the heap until a much larger percentage of our young people get into STEM. And then the key to everything is K through 12. If you don't bust it, K through 12, and really hump to get it together, you are doing yourself an injustice. And if you do it well, doors are at least cracked open for you for the rest of your life. And you can kick them in if you got the power, authority, and wisdom, knowledge, and discernment to do so. But you got to get that opening, the door unlocked, and you need K through 12. Go further, but you need to really apply yourself K through 12. And then we need to stop making excuses about getting distracted from improving our minds. We need to downplay basketball, football, baseball, all of this nonsense, housewives, and all of this distraction that we have got. You know, music is nice, but, too much this image of the kid bopping around with headphones on, oblivious to everything else, is becoming a reality. Playing video games is becoming a reality. Being ill-mannered is becoming a reality. We need to get back to basics. The people that have the power have manners, they have rules, and they work their behinds off. Or at least the ones that make it. Anyway, we need to get there. We can do it. We just have to get the culture that makes that paramount. Anyway, that's all I got to say today. I got a few things to do, young man. What time is it? It's
a little bit after 4, almost 5 o'clock. I mean, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It is after 5 o'clock. I'm sorry.
Excuse me, you're a little behind.
Like it's almost 6 o'clock. But thank you, Judge. Go ahead.
Almost 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's crazy. Time goes by fast. Hold on. Thank you once again, Judge. Thank you, Judge, once again for spending time with us on our show. Judge Joe Brown TV at Twitter. That's Judge Joe Brown TV. You can find him on Twitter. So thank you all, family, for listening to this wonderful, edutaining, infotaining edition of We All Be Radio, featuring the one and only, the honorable, beyond category, Judge Joe Brown. In the words of Great Duke Ellington, we love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing. Peace.